In this video, Kevin and I are going to be talking about the movies and TV shows that we watched during the month of April. We don't have too many here, honestly. No. I don't think there's as many as there was really last month. No. But I'm going to go over the ones first that I watch without Kevin. So a lot of times I'm working on the computer, or I'm just... Sometimes Andrew is playing Kevin is playing a game with Andrew, our son, and so that gives me the opportunity to watch something.
Or I'm working.
Or he's working, or yeah, something like that. So I watched, I'll start out with this one. I watched a show on Amazon Prime. It was Amazon Prime. I think a lot of people don't take advantage of that. I know I don't as much as I should, but there's a lot of free shows you can watch on there if you get Amazon Prime, and this is called Dance Life. So I was looking under like the reality TV type things, and this Dance Life was actually a really good show. It was only like 5 episodes, so it doesn't go on forever, and it's about these top students in Australia. The whole thing takes place in Australia, and the name of the academy is Brent Street Academy, and it is about them starting out in the school, and it's about how you see them practicing, and of course the reason you would want to watch this is if you like dancing and you want to hear the music and see them dancing. And
this is like stage dancing though, not like ballroom dancing.
Yes, yeah. This is like
you would see in a live like concert and things
yes,
like that.
And you just don't.
Or Hamilton, or Wicked or whatever.
Yeah, or like Chicago.
Yeah, any of those where they're dancing.
I mean, these people are absolutely so talented, and like Kevin watched the last episode with me. So the last episode, they have their big competition, and their big show, and they're performing for everybody, and Kevin watched that with me, and it's a lot like these people graduate and then they all are on their own to get their own jobs and everything. So I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me at all if like some of the people we saw performing on our cruise ship, because there's just such talented people, and you don't realize, you probably don't think about the work that goes
no, they could go on if they wanted a really steady job, they could go work for Disney or whatever.
And I'm sure some of them do. Yeah. But it was...
Well, one of them said they went on to dance in Wicked.
Yes. Yeah. And some of them become their teachers. But if you like seeing like some of these things that they do, I told Kevin, it reminds me of cheerleading, a lot of it, because it's a lot of the same. Like what was that show I used to love, and it doesn't come on anymore? The Dallas Cowboy Making the Team was the name of the show, and I'm so sad that it doesn't come on anymore. But they do a lot of routines, and it's a lot of work, and this reminded me of a lot of the moves they do and stuff is like the cheerleading moves, and they work on singing and dancing, and I mean just everything. They do tap, and it's a lot of work, but it was a great show. It's called Dance Life if you like reality type shows. And then let's see, I'll talk about this movie. This was a recommendation. Well, it wasn't a recommendation. It was more like Techno Squid told me like this is one of his favorite movies. It's called Nebraska. And I thought, if he says this is one of his favorite movies, then I want to watch it. And so Nebraska, you can watch it on MGM Plus. It's an aging, booze-addled father. It's Bruce Dern. Makes the trip from Montana to Nebraska with his estranged son in order to claim a $1 million mega sweepstakes marketing prize. Now, I'm just going to tell you, you find out at the very beginning, he has received, the dad, Bruce Dern, he's elderly, and he's received one of these notifications in the mail.
You've won.
You've won. So he has convinced himself.
So you automatically know. It's probably a scam.
Yes, you automatically know, but he is determined that he is going to go claim his prize. I loved it.
What time period is this? Like modern day?
Modern day, okay. Yeah. But
Well, Nebraska, it could have been like a Western kind of thing. I mean,
No, it's modern day. And it was so funny because there's so many scenes where it's like, I've been in this scene myself. Like, I've been in the living room with the floor-to-ceiling paneled walls and the furniture, and everything is turned towards the TV, and you've got 8 people sitting on these couches like this, and they're all sitting in front of the TV. So nobody's visiting with each other.
Right, not talking.
You're just all sitting there about to fall asleep. I mean, there was just so many things about this. The mother in here, I would love for you to watch this movie. I'd watch it with you. The mother in this movie is a piece of work. She knows everything about everybody, and she talks crap behind everybody's back. It's absolutely funny because she knows something about everybody.
sounds like a relative.
She's very blunt, very to the point, and yeah, it was a really good movie. So I'm glad he mentioned that one. I watched Mildred Pierce on Max. This was like, I don't know how many parts it was. I would be totally guessing like 8 parts or something like that. 8 episodes or something. I don't know how many it was. But it was so interesting. It is, and there was an old Mildred Pierce, but I can't find it to where I can watch it. It was like Katharine Hepburn or something like that, but I can't find it, or I would watch it. It's a divorced single mom, Mildred Pierce. It decides to open a restaurant business, which tears at the already strained relationship with her ambitious elder daughter. So this version of Mildred Pierce it's newer, but it still takes place way back. And Kate Winslet plays Mildred Pierce. And I loved the story. I thought it was very interesting. I thought I loved seeing the old homes and the clothes, and her daughter. I couldn't stand her daughter from the start to the finished. There's a part where she's just whipping the crap out of her, and I'm thinking, yeah, you whip her, because she needs to be, she is just a brat from a very young age. This daughter is just so ungrateful, and she has a mouth on her, and I didn't like her. I didn't like her from start to finish. The daughter, she's just not my type of character, but. If you can watch that on Max, you need to watch it, Mildred Pierce. I watched a movie called The Departed. I heard this mentioned on a podcast, and they were saying it came out in 2006, and it has Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon, and Jack Nicholson's in it. And they were talking about how good of a movie it was, and I thought, I don't recognize that at all. And so it's about an undercover cop, and it's about the Irish gangs in South Boston. It was a very, very interesting movie, but it was a good movie. It was violent, but I thought it was worth watching. Then the last thing I watched by myself was called Ripley. And Ripley is on Netflix. Now.
We started it together.
It
was too slow for
Kevin
me.
couldn't hang.
I think we watched 2 episodes together, and it was just boring to me.
It's
very slow.
It's all black and white. And the guy who plays plays Ripley, his name is Andrew Scott, which is funny because our Andrew is Andrew Scott. But I recognized him because we first saw him in Sherlock. He played Jim Moriarty in Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. And I liked him then. And I wish Kevin had stuck with it, because it reminds me, it's kind of like an Alfred Hitchcock-like story.
And it's kind of slow moving, like some of Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes, everything is very planned, but it's all in black and white from start to finish. It's in black and white. But it says...
Even when stuff is happening, it happens slowly.
It happens slowly.
It's just like, oh my God, just do it.
A grifter named Ripley, living in New York during the 1960s, is hired by a wealthy man to bring his vagabond son home from Italy. So the 95% of the movie takes place in Italy, and it's absolutely beautiful. And you would not believe all the steps. I mean, every place you go, there's like steps, and it's almost like mazes. It's like, how do people find these hotels and apartments? And because you'll go up a step, it's like these pictures you've seen of the steps that go here and there, like the Winchester mansion, and just steps that go everywhere. But it's absolutely beautiful, and it was an excellent story if you can stick with it. It was very, very good. And I like Andrew Scott. So now we can talk about the things we watched together. The Woman in the Wall, Paramount Plus. A friend of mine, Brian, said that he was watching this, so I thought, that sounds interesting. We want to watch that too. This stars Ruth Wilson. Ruth Wilson we know from a show called The Affair. She looks completely different.
You tell it's her, but she does look completely
She
different.
looks completely different in The Woman in the Wall. Her name
She's got older too.
Yes, her name is Lorna Brady, and she wakes up one morning to find a corpse in her house. She has no idea who this dead woman is, and she doesn't know how she came to be there. How is she dead? Because Lorna has always had trouble with sleepwalking, and she does stuff while she's sleepwalking. So the whole show is like, okay, who is this woman? How did she get there? And it's this whole story. I liked it.
It was a good movie. It was definitely worth watching once.
Well, it wasn't a movie, but it was a show. Yeah.
It was worth watching once. It was because once you've seen it once, you kind of know what's going to happen. So it's really it's not one of those ones you watch over and over again.
We learned. I didn't write it down.
The laundries.
Yeah, we had never heard of these laundries. They're I forget what they're even. The something laundries, and we'd never heard of them before.
It's in Scotland or wherever.
But apparently.
Or Ireland.
These young girls, teenage moms, would get pregnant, and the nuns would just...
Their families would send them to these nunneries, basically, these laundries.
And then the nuns...
And put them to work.
Would take them away, take the babies away. And so anyway, that's what it's about.
And make them work for nothing, basically.
Yeah, they were working, and it doesn't paint...
Even if you weren't pregnant, they
would make you work.
Yeah, if you were a problem child, the families would send you to these places, and they would work you to death, basically, for nothing.
I would be interested in reading a book about this, like a really good...
like a documentary about it?
Like a kind of book about it, because these are real things, these laundries.
It was a good show, and there's supposed to be another one called The Girl in the Tunnels, or something like that.
Or was that a book?
Or Woman in the Tunnel. Maybe there was a book about the same person. I can't remember.
I don't know.
There's something about tunnels.
Yeah. But it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely worth watching.
And my sister watched it too, because I told her we liked it, and she watched it, and she said, I really liked that. The Great Pottery Throwdown is on Max.
It's one of those reality competition shows.
And it had been out for a little while, and we were just watching other things, so we're gonna kind of just get caught up with some of these shows. So it's clean. It's good for the whole family. It's a competition show.
It's kind of neat how they do the pottery and stuff. Yeah. It's not all spinning pots on a wheel either. It's like a lot of sculpting.
It's a lot of sculpting.
Actually, it's probably more sculpting than anything, isn't it?
Yes, you need to be very artistic and have a really good imagination and be good with your hands. But it's good for the whole family.
Yeah.
Pachinko.
That was a good show.
Pachinko was on Apple TV Plus, and I think Brian, that told me about The Woman in the Wall, I think he told me he was watching Pachinko too, because I would have never heard about it.
Not one you would have paid attention to.
We went in watching this. Let me tell you what it's about, and then I'll tell you this. It's about the struggles of a family through 4 generations and shows the impacts of Japan's occupation on Korea. Well, first of all, I didn't even know about Japan occupying Korea because...
That's our lack of historical
Yeah, there's a lot
knowledge.
Yeah, and I'm not embarrassed to admit that. I know nothing, absolutely nothing about that. And like the hatred of the Japanese people have for the Koreans, and apparently some of that still exists today, which is just shocking. And it's like, why?
It's a class
I don't get it. So that was really eye-opening. But we went into this, watching this, not knowing what's Pachinko. Like, I thought it was somebody's name. And come
like
to
Al Pacino.
Yeah, like Al Pacino. This is
Pachinko.
Pachinko. Yeah, I thought it was, And so it come to find out it's a game. And if you do a search on YouTube, like what is Pachinko, there's a documentary video where it's a very well done video where it talks about it's this game that they play. And it's really, really popular. And it's like a...
it's like the old... I think it was called Plinko.
Plinko, like Plinko. But it's with these little silver balls.
Yeah, little ball bearings.
And you get a whole bucket of them. And it's loud. And it's...
and they fall down and they hit these little nails. And if you land in a certain bucket, like container, you win money.
And what's interesting...
Well, they said actually you don't win money because they said that gambling was
That's
illegal.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I learned in that documentary, they said gambling is illegal. So the way they get around that, I mean, why not just change the law? Why make people go through jump hoops to do this? But basically,
people find a way around.
The reason it's they're getting away with it, they win like these tickets, and you take your tickets around the
go out of that building
into a different building, and then you can claim your prize money. But I mean, why make it illegal? Why not? That's what
they were doing on Young Sheldon.
Yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Why not just make it, legalize it, and just...
It seems like they would just outlaw the machines if they're going to do all that.
Yeah, why make people go through that? I think that's silly. But let me just tell you,
if you're going to gamble, you're going to gamble. That's not helping solve any problems with gambling or anything. So.
No. This show, I enjoyed it so much that I thought nothing's going to beat this month. I thought this is going to be...
It was very, very well done show.
Yeah,
it was very well produced. I mean, you could tell they spent some money in just the costuming and the sets and the areas that they were filming in. I mean, you could really tell that they...
And I love the people. I love the people.
Yeah, you fall in love with the people.
You fall in love, and I'm not just talking about the young...
Some of them you do.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about the young actress, but I'm talking about like these older, very elderly women.
Well, it's four generations, so you got...
It's like, oh my gosh,
some of the ones in
these
the
people.
Old time are now elderly in the more modern times.
Yeah, and I watch these people, and you have to read subtitles. You have to read...
Yeah, it's all in...
So this isn't a show where you're going to be on your phone. You're not going to be on your phone. You're not going to... You need to literally think, I'm going to watch the show, and I'm going to devote an hour to the show, and I'm not going to be interrupted. Yeah. I'm not going to pick up my phone.
And you'll miss so many things, the visual effects, and just the visual spectacle of the show. You miss all that.
Because you're having to read.
Yeah.
So I would like to watch it again, and I would still have to read, but maybe I could pay more attention to the visual.
I got so used to it, though, of kind of reading and then kind of going up.
Yeah.
So you can read pretty fast. So it was nice. It was paced really well. But I really liked it.
Yeah, it was on Apple TV Plus. Fantastic. Yeah. Call the Midwife, season 13. We just finished this last night, season 13.
Call the Midwife's always a feel-good show for the most part.
Yes.
There's some. They have some sadder things, but then it's always like balanced out with happy things, you know.
What kills me is it seems like for the last few seasons, and I'm not going to say who, but somebody from each season, it seems like, has left the show.
Yeah. Well, it seems like every season's made.
That happens again this season.
Yeah.
Somebody leaves the show, and it's somebody I really like.
I did too. They didn't concentrate as much on this person as they could have, but has always been around. You know?
Yeah, but Call the Midwife.
Been around for a while.
It is a good, clean show.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't show like you know, a lot of these shows that you're thinking about, they're showing a reality in an area of a city. They don't talk about, you know, people beating their kids or, you know, husbands beating their wives or the women. I mean, they don't concentrate on that part of it. You know, that may be part of a storyline, but as far as really pushing it, like, you know, everybody's really nice to the kids, and the kids are running around like crazy people.
It's a wholesome show.
And people are always nice to the kids. You know, they leave them out in their buggies outside when they're shopping. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a good show. Good, clean show.
Yes, it is. The Great Stand Up to Cancer Bake Off 2024.
Those are always fun to watch.
It's the same thing as the Great British Bake Off, except they've gotten celebrities.
4 celebrities.
People that are known in the UK.
Yeah.
So we don't know all these people. We knew very few of these people. But there are people that are well known from the UK. But it doesn't matter ultimately because you don't know the regular contestants that are coming in either. It's just complete strangers. So it didn't matter to us whether it was supposed to be celebrities or not. It's just the fact that you're seeing people in the tent that really don't know how. These people really don't know.
The good thing about the celebrities are they really don't know. Most of them have no clue what's going on.
No, they've never baked anything. They have it all done for them. These are celebrities, and if you can have a chef, why wouldn't you? Or have somebody cook for you?
I mean, sometimes they'll get on there and say, "I've never even toasted toast." I mean, literally.
Toasted bread.
Toasted bread. You don't toast. It's toast after you toast it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've never toasted bread, and it's like. Now they're on a baking show.
Yeah, so that's why it's fun to watch. Yeah. But they're raising money for cancer. And so if you're in the UK, you can call in and they donate. And they raise money this way. Okay, the next thing, we watched Criminal Record. Criminal Record is on Apple TV+. Follows 2 brilliant detectives in a tug-of-war over a historic murder conviction and the quest to find common ground in a polarized Britain. This stars Peter Capaldi, which if you know Peter Capaldi is...
He's in Doctor Who.
He was in Doctor Who.
He's been in other things too.
I think he's most well known.
That's what we know of.
Yeah. But it's 9 episodes. And...
It could have been 4.
It was too long. I thought it was too long. And I hate to say that because...
It was a good story. I liked the story overall.
Him. And I'm not used to seeing him in the way that he was portrayed in this. And it's kind of like you have people within this police department and detectives, and you've got the good detective and you've got the bad detective, the good one and the dirty one. You've got the good one that's going to be abiding by the books, and then you've always got one that's, taking money on the side or doing something, just like in that movie I told you I watched, The Departed. Same thing, they're showing you 2 different sides in this same department. And so that's what this is about. It went on too long. Yeah. You could tell that they had it for a certain number of episodes, and so it just went on too long.
Like I said, it could have been easily 4 episodes. And it would have been.
It was 9 episodes.
It would have been better for it if it had been 4.
I agree. Yeah.
Because, like I said, I like the story and I liked what they were doing in the story, but there was a lot of dead time and slow times and things that didn't really play into that big. They may have spent 20 minutes on one thing when they could have spent literally 2 minutes talking about that. And anyway,
I agree.
Kind of like these videos, we could spend.
I don't know how I could talk any less. The Amazing Race.
Yep.
So The Amazing Race is still on right now, and it's
They're down like the final 8 or something like that.
I think I said in last month's video, if you watch any of these reality shows and you're on Facebook, you really need to go to the main Facebook page, because after you've watched the episode, it's hilarious to get on like The Amazing Race, watch the episode, and then get on Facebook and read what everybody has said about the episode. It's hilarious. It's so entertaining, and people are
they point out things that we noticed too.
Yeah, they point out things that we've noticed, and so if I wrote down some of the people that I like, and I don't know if Kevin likes them as much or not. Like, I like Danny and Angie. That is the mother and son. Honestly, I really, really like him.
Yeah. I mean, she just complains.
She complains a lot.
Yeah.
She's
she is an older lady, but still.
But I think she portrays herself as being frail and feeble, and it's like, come on, buck up, girl. You know, you're not as weak.
Well, and
as
one thing, she really wasn't doing anything. She was just in a car driving around and then putting a puzzle together, and there was nothing physical there.
Right, and it's
but
like,
she was getting very frustrated.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just like she doesn't have any confidence in herself. It's like she literally feels, in her mind, she doesn't feel like she can do it physically at all. And I think she holds them back.
Yeah. But I like them as a team.
We both love this team. Rod and Letitia. He is a former NFL player, and she is a fitness business owner.
Mm-hmm. They work together really well.
We love him though.
Yeah.
He
is positive all the time.
He's awesome. Everything they do, he has a smile on his face, and he's a good looking man. Mm-hmm. He has a smile on his face, and he is always like, let's do this. Yeah. And he's just really fun to watch for that reason. He's one of those people that you would want to be around all the time.
Oh yeah, he'd be
because
fun.
He would lift you up.
Yeah. They're actually my favorite team. I kind of hope they win.
I think out of all these people, now that I'm looking at them, I think they are my favorite team too.
Not that they probably need the money, but I still
that
like
doesn't matter. Yeah. And then you have Ricky and Caesar. Is that how you pronounce it, Caesar? Ricky's a preschool teacher, and Caesar's a food stylist.
Yeah,
and
they're
like
okay.
Them.
They're okay. I think they've been they've hedged them a little bit in this season because they're Spanish speaking, and they've been in all Spanish speaking countries, and so I think they've had a little bit of an advantage on some of this stuff.
Yeah, and
not all of them, but some of them.
People have said that on Facebook that they've really had an advantage because they speak another language. But you know what? It's the same as like if I know how to dance really well and we do a dance challenge. So I mean, it evens out.
I even said on the last one, I said there was nothing here that they would have had an advantage of because they had to do singing or some. Of course, they did know the Spanish words for the song, but there's some things that they just. I mean, they have to carry stuff. That doesn't matter what you speak. You've got to carry. You got to carry.
Right.
You know.
So I think it evens out.
It does, and they're okay. I don't mind them. They're very positive people. So
then you have
they don't argue.
Juan and Shane, and they're Air Force pilots. I like them. I think they work well together, and I think they're.
I like them too. They would probably be like my second.
They're positive, very positive people. And then you have the couple that I don't care for, and that's Amber and Vinny.
I think we both said that. I can't imagine them lasting.
They're nurse anesthetist. That's a hard word.
They put people to sleep. They just don't seem to get along very well.
I do not. They've been together 4 years, and I think when this race is over, they need to break up because
or not getting under any kind of high pressure situation.
He talks to her like dirt.
Yeah.
He treats her.
He will
like
probably watch
dirt.
This back and go, "Wow, I didn't realize that."
Like I am a giant a-hole. He is. He is. He's not a nice person.
He's not supportive. Like she's going through something, and instead of him going, "Come on, you can do it. Let's just get it done." And he's like, "Why are you whining? Why are you talking like that?" And stuff like that. It's like you don't talk. You don't say that to someone.
He is not a nice person at all to her.
Like I said, I bet you after the show, of course we're seeing edited versions of it, but I bet you after he watches the show, he's going to look back and go, "Wow, I didn't realize I said all that stuff."
Yeah, I'm a giant douchebag. Yeah. Then we're watching the Survivor,
right?
And we really don't have a favorites on Survivor.
No, not really. There's a couple of people that I like. I like Q, but he's kind of gone off the deep end. So.
He went off the deep end.
Yeah.
All the people that I was rooting for are voted out now.
Yeah. I don't remember her name. The one with all the tattoos.
Yeah.
She's really nice and very upbeat and stuff. And I like the guy that plays music. But I can't imagine him getting to the final.
I can't either. I like him too, but I don't think
so. Those are really the only three that I'm kind of I guess, rooting for. But the other ones, I don't care about.
Now, this is an oddball show, but you can watch it, snippets of it on YouTube. It's called The Full Irish Hidden Camera Show. And it's like Candid Camera, but it's in Ireland.
Yeah. And it's really short. The snippets are really...
The snippets are really short on YouTube, but look it up because it's funny stuff.
Yeah, it's just funny.
It's funny. The Apprentice is over. The Apprentice UK 2024 is over. We enjoyed it thoroughly. My favorite person did not win. But the two people that were in the end, neither one of those were my pick. Lord Sugar actually got rid of my favorite person like a couple of episodes before the end. But,
was it that blonde girl?
No. It was a man, and I don't know his name, so I don't want to say.
Was it the music guy?
Yes.
Okay.
He was my favorite.
Yeah. He was the one that was he was a musician, and then he's transitioning over.
Yes.
But he had a really bad business. He wanted to do some kind of testosterone enhancing drink or something, and they said it was just all pepper and stuff.
I thought he was intelligent.
I like him.
And a bright light.
Yeah, I
thought
him.
He had a great personality.
Yeah, I really did like him.
So I think just his personality alone would draw me to him.
Right. Yeah, but his product idea was awful.
We watched the movie Dune. We had already watched the movie Dune.
The first one.
But we wanted to see Dune part 2, and so we watched it again. So we watched the first,
which is a good thing because you remember a lot. There's a lot you forget, a lot of details.
Yes. So we watched Dune one night, and then we saw Dune part 2. You need to be willing to pay some money because it's $24.99 on Amazon. If you want to watch it at home, where the bathroom is and where the pause button is, then you need to be willing to pay $25 for it because there's no way I'm going to the movie and I've said this last time, I'm not leaving and gonna miss something. And really, you don't want to miss any of this.
No, honestly though, if you really want the full experience that would be the best movie to watch in like IMAX, where it's like the big screen and the big speakers and where things are vibrating.
It would be awesome.
Like you're rattling in your seat.
If I could have my own private pause button and pause it because, you're going to have to go to the bathroom with a 3-hour movie. Bless you. We watched The Regime on Max. Kate Winslet stars in this limited series.
But you wouldn't even know that was her.
As the chancellor of an unnamed Central European nation that is unraveling behind the palace walls. Take it away, Clark.
I actually can't believe we stuck with it as long as we did.
The only reason I stuck with it is because I knew it's a very limited number. Like it was only like 8 episodes or something. And I thought, I really like Kate Winslet. And then you want to see where it's going to end. Even though it's a completely ludicrous show.
Goofy.
It's goofball.
None of this would happen.
No, it's completely bizarre. And if they come out with another season of it, I would never watch it. I wouldn't watch it at all.
No. It's a little too goofy.
I'm not recommending anybody waste your time on it.
It's not even goofy funny. It's just goofy.
It's just goofy. It's silly and hokey and bizarre and weird it's just weird. It's just weird. I would not recommend it.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either.
We're still watching this one. If you've ever read Stephen King's book, he wrote a book called The Stand, and it's about that thick. Wow. And I read it years ago.
Read it like 10 times.
It's an awesome book. Yeah. Awesome book.
I read the original. And then when they came out with the unedited version, I bought the unedited version in hardback.
I think that's the one that I read was the great unedited.
Big, thick one.
And it's white and red. Yeah, that's the one.
Because the first version, they came out with the unedited version because Stephen King, the publisher, said, we'll never be able to sell a book that long in this genre, so you need to cut pages out. So he removed a bunch of stuff. Well, then after he got famous, they're like, well, you can sell.
We want to read it.
You can sell your grocery list, to people. So add all that stuff back in. So yeah. And I've literally read it like 10 times.
So this
one of my favorites.
This came out in 2020.
It's been out for a while.
And we are just now getting around to watching it. It says, after the world is in ruins. It's on Paramount Plus, by the way. Paramount Plus. After the world is in ruins due to a man-made plague, a battle of biblical proportions ensues between the survivors. So this is one of those good versus evil. It is Whoopi Goldberg plays the good. What's her name? Mother Angelica?
Abigail.
Abigail. Mother Abigail. Angelica sounds, you know.
Good work.
Mother Abigail. Whoopi Goldberg plays her. And then Andrew Skarsgård plays the devil, basically.
Yeah,
he's the evil.
Flagg.
Randall Flagg. And so basically it reminds you like in the beginning it's like COVID all over again.
Yeah, but except people are dying like
people are dying real quick.
Yeah, not like COVID.
it wasn't like COVID, but like after what we've been through with COVID, it reminds you of that. A lot of people died. A lot of people passed away in a very short amount of time.
It was like 90%
Right, this was a lot more people.
Yeah.
So imagine the same thing, and there's only a very limited amount of survivors left, and you literally have an evil area where everybody's living, and then you have this good area where everybody's living.
Can you guess the bad area if you've never read the book?
It's in the United States.
Yeah.
Where do they put everybody?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah. Sin City.
Sin City, which, is,
yeah,
good place for evil to occur.
Yeah, well, yeah. And there was...
and the good areas in Boulder, Colorado. I'm not quite sure where that one came from, but okay.
I know, and hasn't it amazed you?
I guess it's just on the other side of the mountain, so...
I know, but every place that they're mentioning and where they're located and stuff is all on the West Coast. Yeah. Well, what happened to all the East Coast?
Well, they traveled.
Yeah.
They went to either
well, why wouldn't you set up camp? If you were Mother Abigail, why wouldn't you, if he's going to set up his camp in Las Vegas, why wouldn't you have set up your camp in like Florida or something?
Because God didn't tell her to go there.
Oh, yeah, God was talking to her in her ear or something. Yeah.
She was talking, God was telling her where to go.
Well, everybody ends up on the West Coast.
Yeah. Boulder and Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Not quite the coast, but getting there.
But we're not finished with it yet. Yeah. We have
one or two.
Three? I think we watched 6 last night.
Yeah,
and then we have 9. Yeah, so we have 3 more left. I will warn you, if you decide to go looking for this, it is very violent. There is disturbing scenes. There's some
nudity.
There's some nudity. There's a lot of it that I don't watch. So when they start, you could tell when it's going to happen.
Yeah, they telegraph it pretty well.
Yeah, you know when it's going to happen. And I literally don't watch any of the bad stuff because some of it's gory. Really gory. And so
you know what's happening just from the sounds.
Yeah, I just don't watch it. But you mentioned, I wasn't going to talk about this just for a second. You mentioned it being in Las Vegas. There was a show that Kevin and I absolutely loved. It was I don't know what the name of it was. It was a reality show, and it was the police department in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it would...
Like lockup, or no, it wasn't lockup. It had to do with their jail.
Yeah. And it wasn't
the police. It wasn't like cops. It was actually the jail.
Yeah, it's funny because the Winchester, where we live, is Clark County. Well, Las Vegas is Clark County. So they would take these people to the Clark County jail, which is the name of our jail. But it was mainly the police, this show, this real show, going around, and of course everybody's drunk and falling all over themselves, and you've got hookers, and you've got drug addicts and homeless people, and they're taking them all in the police station, and they're sitting there, and they're interviewing them, and they've got the camera on them while they're being booked and taking their fingerprints and stuff. It was an awesome show. I wish they would do it again. Yeah. I really, it was so good. And that was the perfect place for them to film that. Because there's always something going on in Las Vegas. Yeah. So, and then the last thing I want to talk about was Fallout. Mm-hmm. Fallout is a Prime Video, Amazon again, in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles.
You got
it. In the future, post-apocalyptic Los Angeles brought about, the way they have this written in a future post-apocalyptic. It's brought about by nuclear decimation. Citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutants, and bandits.
Yeah, the vaults.
The vaults. Okay, tell them about Fallout. People might not have heard what Fallout's is Fallout.
It's based on a video game.
A video game.
So they had Fallout. They've been around for years. I mean, tens of years.
But if you're not a video game person, you would not know. There's a video game called Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah, and you play one of the characters, and most of the time, except for one of them, all the other games you come out of a vault. You're a vault dweller. One of the games you're not, but all the rest of them you do. And this is based on the main character is a vault dweller, comes out of a vault into this wasteland where the people are. So yeah, the story goes from there.
And what did you think of it?
I liked it. It was really, really good. And everybody I've heard liked it. I haven't heard anybody or very few people that said they didn't like it.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
And she's not a gamer. She didn't know any of the history.
Didn't know anything about it. I went in knowing absolutely nothing, and
just watching it as a show.
Watching it as a show, and it is absolutely fantastic.
It's a little gory too.
I would sit down and watch it again right now. Yeah. Even though we binged it. We watched one episode every night. The music in it is from like the 1940s. Yeah. These cars that you're seeing are like the cars of the future or something.
Well, they're like retro cars. They're like old 50s cars, but then they're like with like nuclear fusion driving them and stuff. So it's kind of a conglomeration of the two.
The homes that you see are very retro. The products, the kitchens, everything about it. The whole thing about
Fallout was that they discovered basically fusion in the 30s or 40s, and instead of back like when nuclear stuff was going on, so instead of they used it to power things, so it changed the whole like everything about it, but it was still in that time, so it was neat.
If
they did a really good job of transferring the game over to the show too, so
this is one of those that I would challenge you to watch, because a lot of you probably are listening to this thinking, oh, that doesn't sound like my kind of show at all. That doesn't sound like something I would enjoy. Give it a chance. And I thought it was wonderful. And I told you when we were talking about Pachinko, I thought Pachinko was going to be my favorite show of the month. I didn't think anything was going to be able to beat it, because I always think, what was my very favorite thing that I watched this month? And it would be Fallout. Yeah. Pachinko was my number 2. So those two, Fallout and Pachinko, they're two on the opposite spectrums, two completely different shows.
One's very real, one's very not.
Right, but they're my two favorite things this month. So what would you say were your two?
Probably those two.
Those two?
Yeah, because both of them are really shot well. The story's well done. I mean, don't get me wrong, Fallout's full of like plot holes. There's like some things they'll say something in one episode and it's like, what happened to that?
Just don't think about it.
Yeah, just don't think. You're not. I mean, it's not rocket science you're studying.
I would still give it 5 stars.
You're watching it for enjoyment, and just ignore those little plot holes here and there.
Yeah, well, lots of things have plot holes, but you just don't think about them too deeply.
Yeah, don't think about it too deeply.
Yeah, you're supposed to just be enjoying it for what it is.
It was really good, but it was very well filmed.
It's very well done. And the actors.
The actors did a really good job together.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love these people. Yeah. These are awesome. And the guy, one of them, the guy that plays the cowboy, he's in The Righteous Gemstones. Baby Billy. Baby Billy. He is the main cowboy in the Fallout. And there's a guy in there, and I love this guy. I love this. When they show him smile, his smile just makes me happy. And then this girl in there, she's got these huge eyes. She was in the show Yellow Jackets, and I only watched the first season of Yellow Jackets, but she's in Yellow Jackets, so a lot of you will probably recognize her from that. But I would watch, out of everything we named, I would watch Fallout, and I would watch Pachinko.
I probably wouldn't watch Pachinko again.
You wouldn't see. I would.
I enjoyed it, but I've seen the story. I know it now, so it'd be. But the Fallout thing, I think I would pick up little details here and there.
I think I would pick up more of Pachinko. I mean, it's just
maybe.
I just loved it so much and love these people so much. And,
it's a slower story though. Fallout stuff's going on all the time.
Yes.
And Fallout does have, it's kind of gory and a little violent. And there's one, I think there's one episode that had nudity in it that I can remember. Only one.
Oh, I don't remember.
They got topless.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, I just don't remember.
Yeah, they got topless in one episode.
Apparently, it was not.
It wasn't very. It wasn't even very long. It was very short.
Memorable enough for me.
Yeah, it was very, very short.
So that's the month of April. So you'll have to let us know as always what you're watching, because even if you don't think I'm going to give something a try, you see that I'm find things and I love them, and so it's always helpful when you all tell us what you're watching, and then we can decide whether we want to try it out or not. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you at the end of May.